Something that's really important to me is to give back to the community. I've been doing it ever since I was in school, but certainly since my professional career began early on. And my mentality when I get into a volunteer initiative, when I get involved with a committee or a board is I'm all in. And I want to do the right job. I want to do a good job. I do not need or care for just having my name on a piece of paper. I care to do the work. And currently I'm on the board of Comprehensive Housing Assistance, Inc., and the president of that organization I've been involved with, they're known as CHI for approximately 13 years. And that's been just a really terrific experience. And as I've told our executive director and some other people on our board, that organization has given to me a lot more than I can ever really give back to it. So I'm pretty proud of that. I'm also currently on the Towson University Board of Visitors, which has been a really great experience as well. We have our new president who's doing a really terrific job, and looking forward to getting more engaged with the university over time. I've had the privilege of speaking and doing the introduction from the board at a few of their graduation ceremonies, and that's been really fun to do. It's nice to see students who worked so hard, happy and moving on to the next stage of their respective careers. And then finally, currently, I'm also on the board of trustees at the Woodham Country Club organizations in the area, the Association for Corporate Growth, the Maryland chapter, with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, with the Associated Jewish Federation of Baltimore, and a number of other organizations. And I intend to continue my civic work in that regard, because to me it's no different than waking up in the morning and getting dressed. It's just part of what I do. I think it's really important for businesses to be intentional about succession planning. Certainly large organizations, this is part of what they do. They have very structured training programs, very structured management programs, and that's great. A lot of that does not exist in the middle market. And when we look at our clients, who comprise many very successful and large companies that are between $10 and $250 million in revenue, they need to be intentional. And I actually find it somewhat surprising that in a lot of cases, companies that are very successful, have a lot of employees, generating a lot of revenue, generating a lot of economic benefit, don't have necessarily a true succession plan. It's interesting, some owners believe they're gonna be in that position forever, once they recognize that they're not, that's when we can be having this conversation. And we try to broach this conversation with clients on a frequent basis. Sometimes they're ready to have it, sometimes they're not. Sometimes the conversation takes many years, and we have to and walk them through it. But what we've been very successful at in doing is engaging with our clients in that conversation, so that if and when the time comes for them to move on or to introduce some new leadership at their respective organizations, they are able to do so, and do so without missing a beat, and continue the upward trajectory, hopefully, that the business is on. A couple of years ago, I gave a presentation to a group at Towson, and the general idea of the presentation was the notion that the work-life balance is a misnomer. A lot of times you hear about it, and a lot of companies, including ours, spend time to make sure people have good work-life balance, and clearly that's very important. But thinking about it sometimes in that way makes it seem like one can't be part of the other. So you can have fun at work, and should be having fun at work, and be friends in a lot of cases with your peers at work. No different than when you're in play mode and you're out with your friends, that you can be thinking about work. Nowadays, with every type of digital device, and people are always on and always active. So there is clearly a blend in this whole work-life balance. Some people are able to turn it off, and that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to always be thinking about how you can grow your career while having an active social life, an active family life. The way I think about the types of things that I do, as have the volunteer and civic side of what I do, I have the professional side and I have the personal side. And if you think about that as a set of circles and concentric circles, you have that spot in the middle where a lot of times they are all in alignment with each other. And I think that's very important. I personally spend a lot of time thinking about how to balance that. I can tell you it's not always perfect, but I try my best. Clearly, the personal side of my world is the most important. Without being able to go home to a terrific wife and terrific children, I'm not really sure why I'd be doing what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, because that's really what brings it all home for me. But that said, I love making a difference and volunteering and giving of my time. I've been fortunate in life, and I think it's a responsibility of mine. And then at work, we have a responsibility to grow our business and make it a place where our team wants to grow their careers and not just have a job.